Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Jones. I'm the Director of Education for the Oracle Applications and Technologies Users Group. I'm very excited to welcome everyone to today's e-learning session titled Ascend 2022 Preview EPM Sessions with the OATUG EPM SIG. Before we dive in and get started, I would like to briefly introduce everyone to OATUG. In case you're new to our programming, we are a community of Oracle users, and we provide education, networking, and support to all our members. Be sure to save the date for our next in-person conference, which we're actually going to be discussing with this webinar. It will be at the ARIA in Las Vegas, June 12th through the 15th. Just a quick reminder for today's webinar, you will be on mute throughout the session. However, you're welcome to send questions at any time in the question box in your control panel, and we will address questions at the end of the webinar. We're recording the session. The recording, as well as the slide deck, will be available to OATUG members in the knowledge base and to everybody on the Ascend website. We'll put, I'll have links for that in the chat area. And next, I'd like to turn it over to your first presenter for today. Her name is Kate Helmer, and she's with Huron. Take it away, Kate.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the session today where we're going to be discussing the Oracle Cloud EPM lineup for the Ascend conference. So we're really excited here today. I've got some of our Hyperion Oracle EPM Special Interest Group Board of Directors members with me today to help us go through this content and answer any questions that you may have coming up to the conference. So as we go through the presentation, I'll have our Arun, Scott, and Glenn also be presenting with me today. So first off, Mike gave us a great intro. What is Ascend? So this is a new conference. It started last year in 2021 for the OATUG and the OATUG members. So that's the HCM user group. And this conference, like you said, will be hosted at the ARIA Resort in Las Vegas. Very excited for the nice, warm, hot weather of June in Las Vegas. And this is a conference that kind of came up as a replacement for the Collaborate conference. And so there are in-person and virtual options available. If you do come in person, we're planning on having some SIG meetups. We'd love to see you and talk all about EPM. You can learn more again at the Ascend User Conference website. All right. I think we're getting a little feedback. Glenn, could you mute your line? Thanks. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Scott now to talk a little bit about what is EPM.
Yep, in case y'all have forgotten, you're on this session for EPM, but it is the process of monitoring performance across an enterprise with the goal of improving business performance. So it's really a set of applications that act as a single source of truth for disparate finance teams. So all resources can interact with the same applications and data to help paint a clear picture of the business from a legal, management, and performance perspective. All the buckets below are generally familiar to finance professionals, but there's an EPM solution, custom built software solution for each of these finance buckets, from your close to planning and reporting and metadata management, so kind of across all of your organization. And EPM can help you to organize and systematize kind of all of these finance and operational processes within your organization.
Great. All right, Arun.
Yep. Hey, everyone. So I have the privilege of talking more about the Oracle EPM SIG itself. So SIG, if you don't know, stands for Special Interest Group. So what we do is we work with the EPM community, so members and partners and vendors and even customers, and we work for the EPM community. So we host webinars like this one, and obviously a few of them are coming in the EPM week in August. And so if you're interested in hosting a webinar with us, please feel free to reach out to us. We also have in-person events as well. So Ascend 22, which is coming in June. So we hope to see you guys there. If you So look at some of the EPM SIG stuff that we do. We do have blog posts and social media, so you can follow us on LinkedIn and also on Twitter. So we share content on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. And one of the questions is, okay, well, what do you guys get out of this? So attending these conferences, webinars gives you an opportunity to network and connect with other members, partners of the EPM community. Who knows, you might run into Mark Rinaldi or Almar Cianti or Tim Gomo or Mike Casey or someone. So it's a good opportunity for you to connect with other members of the EPM community as well as the Oracle product management team as well. Yeah, and obviously we have a lot of learning resources, not only as part of the OATUG membership, you also get access to other awesome training content. Sometimes we have training contents on project management, time management, communication skills, presentation skills, etc. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for you to build your network, build your career as well. Back to you, Kate.
Great, thank you. So again, we're presenting today to you as the board of directors for the Oracle EPM SIG. And so we all have, been assigned different roles on the board. I myself am the chair, and then I'm going to let each of my other board members introduce themselves and talk a little bit about them. But I also wanted to point out, unfortunately, Linda and Asmet weren't able to join us today, so you'll have to, meet them at a future conference or webinar. So moving on, a little bit about me. My name is Kate Helmer. I'm the chair of the Hyperion SIG board of directors. I'm based in Dallas. I like warm. I'm formerly from the north, so I like being down in the hot weather of Texas. I am also recognized as an Oracle ACE, which I think is now called ACE Pro, and I've been in the Oracle, Hyperion community for about 12 years now. I work at Huron Consulting Group in their digital practice. I focus a lot on Oracle EPM and EDM and connecting all of the Oracle solutions from a metadata perspective. I also have a blog and I present at lots of conferences, including Ascend. And you can visit that at hyperionbarbie.com. It's obnoxiously hot pink. I used to be the education coordinator before the board of directors prior to being the chair. And then a little fun fact about me is that I'm married and I'm a dog mom to a rescue dog named Harvey, who is about a 90-pound lab husky mutt, and he is wonderful. So with that, I'll pass it off to Scott.
All right. Scott Ritter. I'm practice lead director for Mindstream Analytics, specifically in the managed services group, the app care group. My group focuses on break, fix, administration, and adoption of the applications, the EPM applications post implementation go live. So if an organization has a couple of administrators that need supplemental knowledge, we work with that, or we can actually assume the role of remote administrator to work with your business. So yeah, break, fix, administration, and then kind of helping to adapt business changes into your EPM applications. So making sure that it's still useful for your organization. I began my career in accounting and quickly transitioned over to kind of the technology accounting based software. I've been working with these products for over 13 years, and I really look forward to providing a new perspective, less on the, well, maybe not less, but more focused on adoption and really getting the value from the EPM tools to our community. And then fun stuff, skiing, squash, wine, and golf. So feel free to reach out to ideally talk about those things. But if you have any questions about EPM, I'm happy to engage in that as well.
Hey everyone. So I'm the education coordinator of the board. currently based out of Toronto. I work as a manager at Deloitte Canada with their EPM practice. I started as an ERP technical consultant back in 2005 and been in the Oracle EPM space since 2015. So I do love working with both ERP and EPM whenever I get a chance. Like Kate, I do have a website where I post my blogs. Recently started a YouTube channel, so where I post videos on ERP and EPM topics. I also write articles on Medium. And if you want to follow me, feel free to follow me on or connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter as well.
Good afternoon, folks. Glenn Roth, media coordinator, work at Deloitte and am responsible for the Oracle Cloud budgeting practice, part of our government and public services vertical. So take care of everything in federal, state, local, and higher ed clients. I've been working in the public sector arena for more than 25 years, and specifically in the Hyperion Oracle space for more than 20 years. A fun fact about me is I have 2 cats and a very, very dedicated family man with children and grandchildren, and that's how I spend most of my time away from EPM. I was formerly a CFO and CIO within the government space, whereby I have actually walked in the shoes of most of my clients, and it enables me to help them determine what they need and the most efficient and effective way to implement Hyperion for them. So thank you for being here today. Kate, back to you.
Great. Scott, do you want to talk about our upcoming webinars?
Oh, sorry, just popping off a mute here. Yeah, so this one's me, Oracle EPM 101, so back to basics. So kind of just taking a step back and looking at how an organization should approach budgeting and planning from a high level. So I plan to present about learning the basics of planning and budgeting and how the tools of the EPM suite can help to make the process quicker and more fluid across your FP&A teams that are localized and dispersed. I spoke earlier about a central source of truth as opposed to spreadsheets flying around. So I'll really focus a lot on dimensionality, defining dimensions, and how they can help to drive your reporting and analytic needs across your organization. And the next session will be Close with Confidence with Arun Khan from Oracle on May 26th. And he'll explore the fundamentals of closing and consolidation processes that must be managed and maintained by many system owners and within an organization. So that'll focus more on the FCCS, financial consolidation and close, versus the PBCS that I'll be more focused on. So thank you. I think next is Glenn for.
Yes, we have our this is some of our EPM content that'll be coming up. It begins on Sunday, June 12th through Wednesday, the 15th. We have 12 plus sessions. 4 of them are Oracle led. We have an expert panel where we're going to be discussing EPM, and it's going to cover pretty much the entire gamut from planning and budgeting through supply chain, close and consolidation, the new EDM and some of the newer capabilities, narrative reporting, the profitability and cost allocations. I think it's going to be a fantastic jam-packed couple of days, and you'll be able to get a lot out of it. So I think, Kate, it's back to you now.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to go through and talk about each of the sessions individually so you can plan your EPM adventure at Ascend. So first, Our day one session is actually presented by Emlyn Hamilton of the city of Las Vegas. So not only are we going to be in Las Vegas for the conference, we're going to be hearing straight from the city on how they use narrative reporting to revamp their annual financial statements. So looking at, the narrative reporting package, in the past they had done a bunch of stuff in Excel, and it had been manually manipulated to get what they needed for their in Excel for their year-end annual reporting. So now they've built that out in narrative reporting. They have way less errors, and it is a lot more professional look and feel. So they're expecting not only to have, more trustworthy financial statements, but also just expected to save a lot more time in the future because this is now a built-out, repeatable process. So definitely tune in for that one. It should be a really great story on Sunday, June 12th at 3:45 in the afternoon. All right, so next I'll pass it off to Scott to talk about day 2, our Oracle sessions.
Day 2, first session from Al Marciant from Oracle, talking about the EPM strategy and roadmap. So looking at the roadmap for Oracle EPM applications, the discussion covers all areas of EPM functionality, including planning and budgeting, profitability and cost management, financial consolidation, close, and internal and external reporting, and also master data management in the cloud and on premises. So if you're working with any EPM applications, which if you're on this session, you likely are, I recommend attending this to see kind of where Oracle is headed with their vision of all of these different EPM products and kind of the overall solution of EPM as a whole. And then second session will be presented by Rahul Kamath, also of Oracle on the Enterprise Data Management Cloud. Attend the session to learn about the key use cases enabled by Oracle Enterprise Data Management Cloud service. Learn how the solution can help you reduce risk and accelerate success when implementing boardroom strategies, including being a cloud-first company, growing inorganically through mergers and acquisitions, and building a data-driven enterprise with trustworthy information assets for informed decision-making and positive business outcomes. Learn about what's new and what's coming in the future so you can fold this service into your plans for the coming year. Should be both exciting sessions. I think next is Kate for day 2.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. So day 2 continues at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be presenting actually on Oracle Enterprise Data Management and how to open up your master data management solution to a greater audience in your organization. So instead of having your administrative users and just a few targeted folks within the organization, seeing how other customers have, used the governance module and the really user-friendly interface of EDM to allow, much more interaction in the enterprise. I have some customers that have almost 300 or 400 users in there making metadata updates. So it should be a great session. And then following up to that and rounding out day 2 is eliminating supply chain latency and integrating EPM and SCP with Vatsal Gokar from Alithya. He's also an Oracle ACE. And so this session is going to be focused on integrating, the supply chain planning of Oracle with EPM cloud planning. So having the monthly sales information, the labor workload and capacity demand, inventory projections, all those different things, and integrating them into our financial plan at the end of the day, so you can have your full P&L, your full balance sheet, and cash flow statements and your plan directly integrated for those. So that should be a really awesome session as well. All right, so I'll pass this off to Glenn to talk about day 3.
So day 3, we got very lucky. Rich Wilkie, very strong with financial close and the whole reporting capability. He's going to start off at 10 o'clock. Been a lot of improvements made in FCCS. And then a buddy of mine, Mark Rinaldi, who is a senior director at Oracle Development, and he's going to talk about connective planning and how that affects the enterprise and how EPM is more than just a planning and budgeting tool, and all the benefits you can get out of that. He's also going to provide, similar to what Al's going to show you, he's going to show you what the roadmap looks like, what the new features you should expect that'll be coming. And I think Mark's sessions are usually excellent. So I would absolutely plan on attending that if you do a lot of planning and budgeting. Is there another one? Okay. So our own Kate is coming back to tell us about, it's a panel, and they're going to discuss the Ask the Experts. That's 2 o'clock. And then the Go Hawks is how they move. DataVale is, David is going to present how they move from spreadsheets to, disconnected spreadsheets into the Oracle EPM Cloud world. And it'll give you great insight with the ability to do drill downs, and it's going to be an excellent presentation. So that's what we have for you packed on Tuesday.
Yeah, and I think also if there's any Atlanta Hawks fans out there, I think that session is for the Atlanta Hawks. So definitely a good one not to miss. All right, and then day 4. Aaron, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we have another packed day on day 4, Wednesday. So 9 a.m. we start with the EDM, CSE, PBCS, PCMCS, how to simplify the data transfer between these EPM applications. Michelle Haynes is presenting the session at 9 o'clock in the morning. The next session we have at 10:15, Helmer Parikh, Next Info Solutions, more focused on the financial close within EPM. So again, another great session on FCCS. 10:30, believe we have another session on budgeting roller coaster. So present is Nick Nardi from Cedar Fair. This will cover the budgeting process and the approach in this session.
Great. So a call to action. So those are all of our awesome sessions that we're planning on having for the Ascend conference and preview to the Ascend conference. We're also planning on having a virtual conference in August of 2022 called EPM Week. You'll remember last year we put on EPM Week in March. So due to the change of the conference schedule, we're going to look at that for kind of a back to school, late summer virtual session. So if you're interested in doing a webinar, maybe you had completed a really awesome project recently, or you did analysis on something to implement in EPM, or you leveraged a new feature of the Oracle EPM Cloud, and you'd like to talk to others about it, please reach out to us. We're looking for great content. And so you can reach out to us via the GeoSig email address, or out to us on Twitter at Hyperion User Group, and we'll get you looped into presenting at that conference. And then also, we are constantly seeking new board candidates. We really enjoy the board. We meet once or twice a month, and we do, help with the Ascend conference. We put on EPM Week and work on getting you the networking and education that you need to connect in the Oracle community. If you'd like to help us on our mission and seek to be on the board of directors with us, I believe Mike posted in the chat the candidate form via Smartsheet. So if you're interested, please definitely put in a application. All right. And from that, we're very excited. We can't wait to see you all either in person or virtually in Las Vegas. And we hope that this session gives you all the information you need to plan your week and get you excited about the EPM content that will be at the Ascend conference. All right. From that, if there's any questions, feel free to post them in the chat.
Yes, thank you all. Yeah, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat area, and we can have the SIG answer them. I have a couple questions for the SIG. I know we also have some analytics and BI sessions as well. I know that's really closely related to EPM Cloud or Cloud EPM. So I did list those in the chat as well. We are going to have a team of Oracle ERP folks there as well, Cloud ERP. They'll be discussing it. Let me just kind of ask the board, what do you guys all see EPM, Cloud EPM and Cloud ERP headed from Oracle? Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Pretty good.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a good answer quickly, but I mean, I know Al will be addressing that at the conference. But you know, I've seen them roll out a lot of new functionality for data integration and reporting. I have seen them move from what we traditionally saw as financial reporting, FR reports, over to forms and using the new navigation flows. So that's one thing that I've noticed them kind of moving towards. Kate, I don't know if you have any other thoughts.
Yeah, definitely agree with what you said, Scott. And I think also one thing, like some of the improvements around integration between the ERP cloud and the EPM cloud, I'm excited to see where they're going to start taking that, because not only do we have like the direct general ledger data feeds to EPM cloud via the data management module, but I'm excited to see, you know, if they're going to create more inherent connections between like the sub ledgers of ERP and EPM cloud. So instead of having to create, you know, custom integrations and reports to connect to, you know, like for capital budgeting and things like that, I think that'll be interesting to see how they start making the applications talk even more inherently.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I did ask Al that a few years ago, but I know things are kind of changing and updating, so you just never know what Oracle is going to do. What if it'll be a big surprise to everyone when they like if they just keep them separate or they just combine them in some form or fashion.
And now that I think about it too, you know, from a licensing perspective, you used to be able to get kind of one, you know, module or pod at a time, but they're moving toward, you know, you buy EPM, you get all of the modules. At least that's what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, where they head from a licensing perspective as well.
So does it make sense for attendees that attend to go to the, of course, the EPM sessions if they're EPM focused, but to also attend some of the ERP sessions as well?
Absolutely. I think it depends on your company's roadmap, but from a, you know, features and functionality perspective, I think that they really look at the Oracle Cloud Solutions as a holistic platform. And so I think if you have any EPM cloud or are looking to go EPM cloud, the ERP sessions are also extremely important to see what's going on in those arenas as well.
I think the other way is also a good way. Like if you're attending ERP, some of the EPM sessions might be of interest to you, especially narrative reporting. So if you can use the tool to generate your financial statements, so it'll be a good way to see how that integrates with ERP GL.
So I think that's one of the big benefits of the conference is that we're kind of a one-stop shop. We have just about everything there. We get the EPM sessions, the ERP sessions, analytics and BI. We also have professional development if you're looking to advance your career. I did put a link to register for Ascend. One of the attendees had asked about that, so I posted it there. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. You've got the emails there listed on the screen, so if you do have any questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to reach out to any of the SIG members, and I'm sure they'll get back with you right away. I really want to thank the ERP SIG, I'm sorry, the EPM SIG, get all my acronyms mixed up. They did a great job. Not only that, I know we had a lot of members vote for sessions for Ascend. So the sessions that have been accepted and the ones that talked about were all voted on by members. So they are the cream. They are the cream of all the EPM sessions that were submitted for our call for papers. Again, if you do want to submit a session, you're more than welcome to for next year's conference. The call for papers for that will be open in December. I want to thank everyone on the board. You guys are doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the conference.
Great. Thanks for having us, Mike.
Thanks
We'll see
so much.
everyone at Ascend.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.